everyone, and welcome back to another episode on Two Puerto Ricans and a Black Girl. Today's topic, this one is really sizzling hot. It is, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex.
Vocalizing today? Okay.
With those bootleg vocals. You get it. It's all about the sex, baby. And I'm really curious before we start to see everyone's perspective on this topic, to see what everybody's mind took them. I am the Dope Widow.
Who are you?
Guys, I'm the Love Guru.
she ancient. She's like, I couldn't even say my name. And I'm your lifestyle diva. Welcome to this episode. So we all seem very excited about this one, but I think we all gonna have different perspectives on it. Yeah. I feel it.
I'm the
so you know I got a question. So my question is, lady.
I have 5.
You have 5 questions? Awesome. And I'm sure you know how we do. More will develop as we go along. What does sex or love making look like and mean to you at this stage in your life? And what level of importance is it in your relationship?
Oh, that's a good question.
Go ahead, Gigi. I'll let you go.
So for me, again, I'm in a whole different place. And sometimes I really feel like it's like this whole widowism, this widow's perspective. I'm not going to say is at my top. It's not key for me at this age that I'm at this stage of my walk, my journey on being a widow. I don't think it takes the number one spot for me. But it is important. And I definitely won't be taking for granted the intimacy part of it that you normally would take for granted with your partner, because it's like, okay, they're there, whatever. But now this go around, it's definitely going to be different. We mentioned last week the whole emotional vulnerability. I would love to have that more often. I'm looking forward to that part of it, that emotional connection. So it's not top. I need to have a friend. I need to have that just that love, that whole energy, that vibe, the positiveness. That's important to me right now. And then obviously sex is just going to be the sprinkles on the cake. But yeah, more intentional with that. That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. I am. Go ahead, Jackie.
For me, it's also not at the top of my list. Maybe number 3. I'm gonna say that the foundation is the most important thing. Creating that bond, creating that trust, creating just that sense of intimacy, but not in a sexual manner. Mm-hmm. But sex is a very important part of my relationship, or any relationship that I have with someone is very important. And it's more of love making for me. Like, that's where I am. A lot of people are just have sex with their partner, but no, I need that emotional connection. I'm very sensitive, so that's why I need that love making part. And I need, attentiveness. That's where I am, in my journey with sex. Like, I need him to be attentive to my needs as I would be his, but just, very, very sensitive and romantic. Romance, I guess, could be the word that I could use. I need romance.
I love this, that we all came from this perspective, because you would think when you hear this topic that, oh, you're going to go right for the obvious, which is the physicalities of lovemaking or having sex. And my thing at this age and stage in my life, I need to know that I can just sit and be with the person and love that aspect of them.
Mm-hmm.
the looking at a movie together, enjoying their company, conversation. I don't, I think sometimes we get distracted with sex. It's such an anticipation
Mm-hmm.
for it. Like you're anticipating having sex so bad with the person, you're not even enjoying their company. You're not even enjoying who they are as a person. You're just thinking about, okay, when we going to, and then it's the other side of that as well. Well, sometimes you have busy lives, husband and wives schedule sex. That's something else different. But I'm talking about when you just can't be in a space and the anticipation is literally not allowing you to enjoy your person, your partner, who you're with. Um, I also feel like sex can become a complication sometimes where you're just so focused in on that. I think once you get all those things, the intimacy as far as the mental is concerned, and knowing that the relationship revolves around more than just sex, then sex can be all those things that it is to the flesh and to the relationship. But once you don't have that foundation there, it's like, sometimes you'll realize that the relationship is nothing but sex.
You're
You
right.
know?
When you have the
Yes.
foundation and you guys are on the same level, the sex is mind blowing
Mm-hmm.
because you guys are in sync. You guys are, everything just flows naturally, and then when you get to that part, that sex, the sex part, the love making part, it's mind blowing because you guys are both on the same level,
Right.
and a lot of people don't understand that, they don't create that foundation, and it's just like, when people go out and they meet somebody in that one night stand. Like I've never been that person and I could never be that person to go out and have a one night stand, because we talked about this last week, that connection. Like I need to have that connection with that person. I need to know that person. We need to have had conversations, and created that bond, created that foundation to then move on to the next level, which, probably would be, making love or having sex, whatever, anyone wants to call it. But
Right.
I just can't. I need that connection.
I get, you know what? I mean, I'm gonna speak for myself. I've never had a one night stand, but I understand when people do that because it's just fulfilling the flesh.
Exactly.
It's just something that they need right then. So I get it when that happens. But just like I said, I'll just keep repeating the same thing. For my stage and age that I'm at right now,
Mm-hmm.
whomever I'm with, I need to know that the relationship is grounded in more than just sex.
Just sex.
Because
Absolutely.
when you are connected mentally and spiritually and on so many other levels with somebody, when that comes into place, it's just much more beautiful, than it is if it's just that.
That's
So I need to know that all of those things are covered, and yeah, because sex, like I said, it can become a compulsion. You know, you just like somebody gets addicted to porn, like you're addicted to having sex. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So once you get all those fundamentals down, then you can, because I love sex just as much as the next person. I love making love to somebody who I love just as much as the next person. But now, but now I need to know that, yeah, I mean, it's something more than that. It's on another level than just,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that once you reach our age too, I mean, again, it's not at the forefront of our thinking because we're looking for more.
Yes, that's the reason.
We're looking for more.
Because we're looking for more. That's why sex is not on the forefront.
Yeah, like I could care less. I could care less about it. I mean, no, sorry, I'll take it back. I do care, but
No, I
not
understand.
the forefront of my thoughts. You know what I mean? You want it to be the bomb. You want to reach that level with your partner, with your spouse. But right now, I'm okay. It's not like before. Maybe when you're younger, it's like such a sense of urgency. But at this stage and age, as you mentioned, Mimi, it's like, okay, I'm okay. let's get to know each other. Let's build. Let's have a solid foundation that's not built on if we're sexually compatible, but are we compatible? Are we, do we have the same interests? Can we be friends? There's so much more.
And when you're younger, everything is so new to you then too. You know, at our age, we've been down that road, you know, well,
Exactly.
many times before. When you're young, it's like, oh, you know, I gotta do this. I want to do this. I want, like, you just jumping in the, now you, before, now at this age, you think before everything that you do. Like we always say, more time behind us than ahead of us. I want to know who my person that I'm with now. That's it. I'm settled. I'm done. Put a fork in me. I'm not trying to be, you know, discovering all these new people and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I am building something that is sustainable, you know, through ups, downs, turnarounds, whatever it is, you know, that,
because once that sex,
you know, sex can make it all kind of fuzzy and complicated.
Exactly.
It clouds your judgment sometimes.
For sure. Because the act is just so pleasurable. You just thinking that, oh, this is love, when it's not.
When it's not. Very true. So I have like a little different twist of one of my twists, because I kind of looked at this whole topic on a whole different scope. And so I looked at it. One of the things that I saw was sex negatives, sex positives.
Okay.
Right? And growing up for me in my household, it was more of a sex negative environment. Sex negative and positive environment, where when sex was mentioned, it was like taboo, it was shame, there was a stigma attached to it. And I remember growing up, I'll never forget this, because every time I hear this song, I spend a lot of my time in Philly with my family. And I remember one time Marvin Gaye was on the radio. Sexual healing, get up, get up, get up, get up.
You just sing it tonight, honey.
Well, who can't sing it, right? And I remember my Aunt Betty, like, turn that station. Not even music. Were we able to even listen to music that had like a sexual undertone? As a parent, I get it. Because it's like we're trying to put the fear of God in our kids in hopes that they make better decisions with their sexual relationships and intentions, who they have sex with, and blah, 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 blah. But then also, it's actually kind of goes against that, as far as when they're little, you're like, don't touch this. You kind of give them the pop, don't touch. The fear of God, they don't touch it. But at some point, they're like, okay, why can't I touch this? So that whole curiosity kills the cat mentality kind of settles in. And so a more sex positive environment actually allows you to have those conversations with your children, and striving to achieve more of an ideal expectations in relationship to sex, as opposed to having a negative connotation attached to it, where if you're more open with them, then maybe they won't be so curious, well, why can't I? So I know I've had to have that conversation with my kid when she was very young, just because of the society that we're living in now.
Right.
And they're being exposed to a whole lot. So it's like, well, damn, I'm gonna have to have this conversation with them before they're officially a teen, just because of the conversations that's happening at school.
That's because of social media.
The social media, and this is prior to her having a phone, but the kids, you know, they're at that in middle school and things, you're like, your hormones are raging. And so you have to know what's right, what's wrong, so that you know how to navigate, and you're not out there trying to be sexual to fit in what society feels, you know, you're supposed to be doing as a teenager, or the things you're supposed to be conversing about. So, yeah, so I definitely understand though, because I grew up in a sex negative environment. So
I totally get that, what you're talking about, because, sorry, Mom. I don't think that I ever had a conversation with my mom about.
Never, ever have I ever.
Right. Never have I ever. No, never have I ever. So I knew that when I had my child, boy, girl, I had a girl. that I would be more open with that experience. Was I a parent at first, like, no, I don't want to, but you see, all of our children were born in social media when
Yes.
social media was there. It wasn't like they it just was created. They were born into the social media era. So you had to, or that was going to teach them. My thing that I always told my daughter was, sex is more than just being physical. It's the mental part that I don't want you to have to be faced with. It's the part where you're 13, you're a teenager, you're having sex for the first time, and you have sex with this man or this guy, and he has sex with you and leaves you. You don't know how to deal with that mentally as a child, as a teenager. You don't have enough experience. An adult, we hurt and we feel bad when somebody just feels like they just used us, just used our bodies. Now you're having sex for the first time and somebody has sex with you and they just leave you. At 13, 14, you don't know how to deal with that mentally. I'm trying to equip you for that side of it, not just the side where everybody's looking like and making it seem like it's it's all this and that. I'm talking about that side right there where, your feelings are getting hurt, where your body is getting hurt. You know what I mean? So I try to always talk to her about from that side. And I'm sure there's things that she felt like she couldn't talk to me, but for the most part, I feel like she's come to me with a lot with stuff that I'm just like, wow, okay. But I'm glad that, she felt comfortable to be able to, do that. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying, G.
That's so important. Yeah, because then that opens up that whole dialogue and allows your kids to say, oh, wow, she opened this up. That if I have to come to you, I can come to you. But as parents, we don't want to see our kids, being promiscuous or involved in a relationship. And so we tend to kind of close them out. But it's so important that we have to be open because it's a blessing if they can come to us. If not, they're going to be miseducated and do things all wrong and stuff. So
yeah, and you don't want that first experience to be something that's so like full of rainbows and unicorns. It's not that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that all the time. I mean, if you love somebody, yeah, it can be that, but it's much more that goes into it than that. And I didn't ever want her to go into it misinformed, like how you were saying. So you need to explain that that to them. You really do. As a parent, you really need to sit down and talk with your child. Parents now, I mean, sooner than later. I mean, now it is you just have to.
Like 9, 10 years old, you
absolutely 9, 10 years old, you have to talk about it now because it's just too much information. I mean, it's right in their hand on their cell phone. What they got to do is pick up the phone and look at something and say, you know what I mean? So it's just too easy for the kids now for them to have their first experience on a website or with chatting with somebody on something. You as a parent need to be there to navigate that and to direct them, even though they're still going to do things that you're probably not going to know about or condone. If they got that foundation in there and knowing that, oh, my mother said this, oh, I learned this, oh, that doesn't mean that you get pregnant if you do this. Oh, you can catch a disease if you do this. Like, so many misconceptions are out there. Like you have to get in there and to get, to make sure that they're not thinking all those crazy thoughts in their heads. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that they won't go out there and try, because that curiosity is still there, but at least like they're informed and they'll think twice about certain things. At least learn about being protected. You know what I mean? Things like that, just to avoid things that have lifetime effects on you if you don't do
disease, babies, all those kind of things. Right. Yes. And everybody has to have experience. That's one thing that I think at this age that I've come, even though it hurts me to the core, especially with our children, to have to just allow them to do certain things. Everybody has to have their experience. So it's like, I can tell you not to do that. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, I can see what kind of guy that is. Or I can see what kind of person this is. But they still want to go and make friends or do this or go there. It's like, you sitting there begrudgingly like, okay, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to have their experience. So even with that, something that can be life altering, you have to let them have their experience.
Yeah, that's very true. because God is allowing them. I feel like God allows you to take these different paths
Mm-hmm.
because that's on your journey to becoming who you need to become, maybe. I don't know. But everything happens for a reason. So,
Right. Um, Jackie, I want to ask you. You said that sex is not your number one. It's like number three on the list. So, what would be the things that's above it?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just the friendship. We
Okay.
have to start off as friends,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just form that bond. Just making sure that our bond is is sealed tightly before we move on to next step.
Right.
So those things you guys were just mentioning, the fact that he doesn't just use you for your body and leave, so those things don't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That who he is. You want to know who the person is before you jump into bed with them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially we always go to age, especially at this age. I'm not in any type of place to be emotionally played with or physically played with. Like you guys mentioned, I don't want to sleep with a guy and then, thinking that he likes me and that he's going to come back, and then the next day, he doesn't return the call, like a lot of girls experience. I'm sure we all experienced that at one time or another.
Mm-hmm.
We went out with this guy, things happened after, and we thought he was going to call, and he never called, and you're just like, hey, what happened? I thought, everything was okay, and it's not. So before I have sex or become physically intimate with someone, I want to make sure that I know who they are, I know what intentions they have, um, and that I know them, that we form that friendship and that bond, and that the connection is mutual. That it's not just one sided, that it's not just me interested, or me, you know, seeing things that are not really there. I
Right.
want to just make sure that, we're both on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were just talking about, you know, their daughters or young girls. And I just think that if more parents felt comfortable, I think the reason why our parents didn't speak to us about it, about sex, was because they weren't
Right. Of
comfortable
course.
themselves with the topic.
Of
Because
course.
my mother never told me about sex. I learned on my own, I learned from my friends, and that was the wrong thing. And so when I had my girls, I told them, if you have any questions about anything, come to me. And I'm grateful that we have amazing relationships, and we talk about a lot of things. My son is 13, and we talk about everything. We talk about sex. I've talked to him about sex because
How's that different with a boy? That conversation.
um
Is it?
it is very different, because I have to make sure that he's not doing what guys did to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to talk to him in a different way, like, this is what mommy went through,
Mm.
and I don't want you to do this because this is how I felt. So imagine if mommy felt that way. We don't want to make another girl feel that way. I also talked to him about the way fathers think of boys that do those things. You don't want her father to see you as this boy who is just there for one thing. No, you respect girls, the same way you want a daddy to respect mommy. So I have to put it in that type of
Right.
scenario for him so that he could see it.
Mm.
um it is very different though,
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
I spoke to my girls, but I'm grateful that he talks to me. He talks to me, and my girls talk to me. And I told my girls, I'd rather you come to me, and I'm not gonna be upset, because mommy is your number one fan. I will never steer you the wrong way, because you are my child. I don't want you to learn from your friends, because they don't even know. They're gonna
Right.
give you the wrong information. So come to me. I'm going to give you the correct information, and if I don't have the answer, we will find it. We
Yeah.
will find the answer. But I'm your best friend, I'm your mom, and so I'm grateful to God that both of my girls confide in me and my son as well.
Right.
And I say this, as an educator, I tell my girls in school, like, your mom should be your best friend. You should be able to tell your mom everything. And because if I tell her, she'll be upset. And that's the mistake that we ready to yell. We're ready to badger them. We're ready to punish them because they're asking us questions that we don't feel comfortable answering. And that's the reason why these children go out there and they make mistakes and they get pregnant, because they're scared to ask us because of the way we react. And that's something we need to work on within ourselves. Our reaction when our children are trying to confide in us. And the fact that, sometimes we yell, that makes them close off, and then they never come to us. And then they're out there having sex with multiple partners, you know,
Mm.
um, not using protection, because we didn't have the opportunity to tell them, baby, if you know she's out there being, take her to get birth control. It doesn't say that you're condoning her having sex, but you want her to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
Give her condoms so that if she is a boy that does not have condoms, she has protection. It's not only protecting her against pregnancy, but all of the sexually transmitted diseases that are out there that could affect her long term. A lot of these diseases will prevent her from having children in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to think about these things before we react and yell at our children, because then they will not come ask us these questions about sex. And I think that's the reason why our parents didn't speak to us, just because they were uncomfortable with the topic.
Yeah, that's definitely. I agree 100% that that's the reason, and they probably weren't taught anything about
Mhm.
from their parents as well. Um, Not that I disagree with you about the friendship aspect, but for me, when my daughter was younger, I did not concern myself, and now I think she gets it as an adult about being her best friend because I needed to parent her, and I think when I was trying to tell her that um it doesn't matter if I've raised my voice, if I seem like I'm upset, I don't care if that's what the appearance is to you. You can come to me with anything as far as that's concerned. As far as anything that you're in harm's way or about sex or anything like that, I'm going to be that way just because as a parent, we put our kids on these pedestals and we get so disappointed when they do things that we don't want them to do, that we raise our voice, we get a little bit upset. But it's not that I'm angry at you. I don't want you to have to go down these roads that I already went down. So that's why I'm speaking with such passion. So he gets it now from an adult point of view, but as a child, you have to make sure that you instill that in your kids, that you're not angry at them, because that's why they don't come to us, because they, like you said, Jackie, they feel like we're upset with them, but they have to be reassured that there's no consequences when it comes to certain things, like if they're in harm's way or about sex or something. Like, they need to know that they can come and talk to you openly. But I always told my daughter, listen, I'm not concerned about being your best friend right now. I'm not concerned about being your friend now. Me and her good girlfriends. But then, at so I couldn't be her friend at some point, because sometimes when you put your guard down a little bit, not that being somebody's friend, you putting your guard down, but you do, because that's a relationship, it's a friendship. You're not all guarded and stuff. Their kids are so manipulative. They're trying to, take advantage of situations. So you gotta, yeah, but now we are really good friends. But I just think the reinsurance aspect of it definitely needs to be there, because as a parent, we're going to feel disappointed because we don't want our kids to have sex as teenagers. We know what comes along with having sex. You have so much time to have sex. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you could wait on that, because once you do it, then you're going to keep wanting to do it, because now you know what it feels like, what the experience is like. Now you want to keep doing it over and over again. So you got plenty of time to do that. But yeah,
We have plenty of time, but society promotes it on a daily.
sure. Yeah.
Society promotes it on a daily. It's like
Commercials.
yes, it's slapping them in the face with
Uh-huh.
the way, the provocative way of dressing, showing all their skin,
Mm-hmm.
the midriffs, these booty shorts,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and what it's doing is telling them that it's okay to dress that way in order to get the attention of a male,
Right.
so they're out there wearing these clothes. And granted, I'm not saying that it's not okay to wear, I mean, you could wear whatever you want, but I'm just saying society promotes it in a way, and even the songs that they listen to,
Yeah.
you know, all it's talking about is sex.
Everything is.
And
I
so they're
mean,
like, but
everything.
if it's on the radio and if it's on the television, then it can't be so wrong, so we just gotta educate them and educate them the right way. um yeah. And I'm gonna say I wasn't my daughter's friends when they were younger, Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
No, as they got older, we became friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying that I'm their number one fan.
For
I
sure.
would never steer them wrong. So I wanted them to know that they could come to me about anything. The way you said, with
Yeah.
your daughter,
Absolutely.
reassurance. So I always reassured them that no, I'm not gonna be mad. I'll be disappointed, but I'm not gonna be mad. You could come to me about anything, because I didn't want them to make, the wrong the decisions I in essence, because growing up, like I said, my mom never talked to me about sex. Like Gigi said, it was taboo in my house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was raised by a single parent, and he was trying to protect me from, everything. So of course, sex was not the conversation,
Right.
and I had a baby when I was young. So, that stems from making the wrong decisions, making wrong choices. And so I didn't want that for my girls. I didn't want them to have babies young when I did. I want them to enjoy their life, to experience life. And then when it's their time.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank God for the most part. No babies yet.
Right.
So I'm grateful.
Right. 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 And I'm sure there's so many things, like, although there's a lot of things that my daughter's come and talk to me about, I'm sure there's so much that I did miss out on because, she felt like she couldn't come to me because I was, going to get upset, or she was going to get in trouble or something like that. But, for the most part, as parents, we just need to make sure that we reiterate every time that although I have passion in my voice, although I may seem like I'm upset, like, you could come and talk to me. I'll be mad later. I'll be mad in my closet when I'm praying about this to the Lord. But make sure you come, right? Make sure you come to me. Our main objective is always for them, for their safety and their mental health. Because that
Yeah.
can destroy you as a young girl, for somebody to have sex with you and just leave you. You
Yeah.
have no um life experience to go to measure this off of, like, okay, I'm
They
worth,
go right away to
right,
what's wrong with me? What did
right,
I
I'm worth
do?
something, right.
Ugly,
Yeah, yeah,
am I not worth it? Am I not enough? Is my body not beautiful? So that makes them self-conscious
right.
when these guys or men do that.
Yeah,
And even to women,
of
like they think
course.
about what's wrong with me that he didn't come back, that
That's
he
what
didn't
I'm
call
saying.
me
Like,
back,
we have a wealth,
So
we have information, we have life experience to go off. Can you imagine somebody just having sex for the first time that doesn't have
yeah.
any experience in that?
Oh,
It's,
that breaks my heart to even
yeah.
think that, young girls are going through that.
Every day they're going through
And
it.
I wanted to, it's so funny because when you have children, you want to guard them from everything. Like you want to take their pain. You don't want them to go through the things that you went through. So I was that way. Like I was trying to guard them, all the time so that they did not experience that broken heart. That's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I used to get on my daughter's nerves because we used to live in an area where it was like a high drug area. And so from the circumference of my building to this particular corner, once you got to this corner, it was like, oh my God. Like, there was just drugs was just all over the place. And every time we walked through there, every time we was heading up there, I always had a life lesson. And she used to always be like, Mom, do you always have to give me a lesson every time we go through here? And I'm like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm about to point this, and this out. So yeah, we just feel so guarded with them, but you gotta let them have their experience because they at some point they're gonna tell you, okay, I know it's hot, but I want to touch it anyway.
Exactly.
So you gotta tell them to let it burn, baby. What were you gonna say, Jackie? You was gonna say you wanted to switch gears. What were you gonna say?
think we're a little too serious.
Oh, okay.
When I saw our episode, I saw it a little different, but I'm going with the flow. I
Right.
just have some juicy questions
Go
because
for
we
it.
said let's talk about sex. So I have some not so serious questions.
Okay.
So I have a question. I'm gonna start. What's your favorite part of a man's body?
Favorite part. You know, I mean, because
Hard.
I guess it would depend on the person.
All right, so
I mean, if I'm thinking about somebody who I'm thinking about in my head right now, I would say I really love their smile and their lips. Has the best smile. It's such a beautiful smile and the fullest lips ever.
okay, Gigi.
I like a man's. I like their traps. I feel like something about a man's traps. If they have real sexy traps, are like the man's shoulder. The way they wear their clothes just feels so nice. And I like the man's butt, like that whole football player's butt. Just the clothes fit nicely. But I've always been attracted to like men's their traps. Yeah.
Nice. And you?
I like a man's arms, not all the way down, just this part up here, like that where that muscle it cuts like here, like that's just, oh my God, I thought that's so attractive. That when you hug him and you put your hands like behind his arms, that muscle there, that is so attractive.
I love that when everybody has their little thing. Like for me too, I like, and like I said, it depends on the person, but I like the way a man that walks with a real confidence. That is awesome. Like they can just enter a room and it's just like they could just fill a room just with their, the swag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confidence is good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, I have another question.
Okay.
Where on your body is your favorite place to be touched? When I wrote this question down, I really thought of you, Mimi, to be honest. I laughed when I wrote it down.
Place to be touched.
I don't know why, but I did.
I'm just gonna say this.
That speaks enough volumes. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. That's a favorite too. But I like my neck. I like my neck. Depends.
Your neck?
Soft kisses. Not just touching, but like soft kisses on my
Yeah.
Or your neck, you ticklish?
Like,
I'm
yeah,
not,
so on my neck. I don't think I'd be like, oh no, stop.
I like the neck area.
I like a good foot massage too, no.
Oh, you do? I don't like my feet touched.
No.
Yeah, no.
Really? Why not? Because it's too ticklish?
No, it's not ticklish. I don't know. I don't like my feet touched.
A lot of people don't like to get their feet touched, but I do. Yeah, I love that.
And then, I mean, I have pretty feet. I don't know. I don't like my feet touched.
And I like, what's so weird? I don't know if it's weird. I like to get my hands massaged as well, too. I don't know. It's just something about that way that.
I like my.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? Stress,
yeah, it does.
What's next? Oh, this one's good.
I'm scared.
Do you like rough sex or romantic sex? Look at our eyes. I love it.
It depends on the mood and timing. Everything has its time. So I would say both.
You like both? Okay. Gigi? Secret squirrel?
I mean, I know, hello. I do like I like the romance of it all, but once in a blue moon, you do like the fun part of it. The other part, everything can't be so mundane all the time. So I think sex, there needs to be a elevations to your sex. If you keep it the same way all the time, it becomes very boring.
Yeah.
You're able to turn it up.
You girls ever gone out and act like you didn't know your boyfriend?
Oh my God, I've always wanted to do that.
That is so much fun.
I definitely want him to go and sit at a bar.
Yes.
Then I come in
Yeah.
and I try to pick him up. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do that.
So much fun. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it?
I did. It was
Did
so
you have
fun.
done that before?
No, I have never done that. That's pretty cool.
I agree. That's one thing I want to do.
Yeah.
If you have a bucket list, I don't believe in bucket lists, but if I did, that's one thing I want to do.
I like that.
But you know what? It was when I was really much younger, and you just went for things. I would love to do it now. Like, being the person that I am now, I would love to do it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with staying with that topic, with what you just said, would you wear a wig? Like, would you change your appearance?
Girl, hello, you. Yeah.
Okay, because I've never done it, so I don't know if I should go look at the same.
You can look the same, but if he wants, like, if you know that he likes a certain look, and then you could try that look. But it's nothing wrong with going there and being who you are, but just acting like another person. You know what I mean? Like, so it depends on what you guys, decide on. Yeah, but definitely, I'm all about a good wig.
Do that.
Because as women, we often change our hair, but sometimes our guys have a preference.
So much fun.
So
right.
if you come in with that, how he met you.
Yeah.
If your hair was long when he met you, if that night you wear it that way, or if your hair was short, get a cute little short wig, just to kind of,
yeah,
to his liking or whatever.
Right.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like that.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have another question.
Yay.
If you were out to dinner and your partner said, "I want to have sex right now," would you?
Yes. I did an immediate yes, because if this is who my man, my husband, yes. And it depends on, like, where if it's somewhere where we can go and have, like, if it's nowhere, like, oh, we just in a room with people, like, no, babe, I'm not having, like, it's nowhere for us to have sex here. But if we could get to, like, a bathroom, or always wanted to join the Mile High Club. So, but I don't really.
Hello, that was one of my questions.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I jumped it. No, I'm not a part of the Mile High Club. How about you, ladies?
I'm not either. But I definitely spontaneousness of it.
Yeah.
And if it's my husband, why not? I believe that the relationship should always have a spark. You gotta always keep it sparky. If not, somebody else will be lighting the match.
Right.
At an age, I like my own match.
Hello. Like, they were showing this video of Neo and his wife. They were on some kind of cruise or something like that, and she was all up on him, whining and doing all this kind of stuff. And people were having. I was like, "That's that man's wife. Exactly. What are you talking about? Get out of here." Yes. Like, that's his wife. What are you talking about? They supposed to be doing that. That's good that they doing it.
Exactly. They keeping the romance alive. Like our last episode, keeping the passion alive, right?
Exactly.
Keeping that fire burning, that flame.
Right.
All right. I have one more question. My last question.
Okay.
Are you loud or quiet during sex? Mimi laughs. She's so funny. You're so cute.
I'm like this. I'm there.
I like that you're answering first, because I can kind of piggyback off of you.
No.
I'm the same way. And I'm the same way. It could be a moment that I'm quiet because I'm taking it in. It could be a moment that is like, oh, snap.
Right, oh, stick of snaps. I can say this, though. Listen, I don't like somebody that talks too much.
No. I don't like conversation.
Don't be right. We cannot have a full dialogue. This is not a conversation. Too much dialogue is too much.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, some words here and there.
What about them damn Yankees? Like, I want to.
Like, yeah, no, too much dialogue is, yeah, but a little kiki chitter chatter here and
Yeah,
there.
no talking. No
Just
talking.
nice phrases, nice words, you know?
Right.
Yes, yes,
Sound.
yes,
Yeah.
Like so much talking.
yes.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, too much talking. Yeah, too much talking
Right.
turns off. We don't need to have
How
a
about you,
conversation.
Jackie?
One word here or there. I'm in between. I'm in between, but I could lean to a
Oh,
little bit
really?
loud. But I'm in between. I have my quiet moments. But yeah, for the most
Oh,
part,
I
yeah,
have a question. Are
a little
you
bit loud.
ladies initiate, or you like to be the person who the person comes to you?
No, I'm an initiator. Yep, I am.
I could be both.
I enjoy sex, so
Right.
yes,
I was
I'm
gonna say the
an
same thing. I
initiator.
said it depends on the. Honestly, I think I probably would lean. I don't know. I was gonna say I would lean more.
I'm not an I'm not an initiator all the time, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, I could say I am.
I was gonna say
So you're
no.
not?
I am, but I was gonna say I lean more towards that. But I guess not. I mean, I'll do both. Both.
Yeah, I'm both. Gigi, you're both?
Mm-hmm. I could do
Yeah.
both.
Yeah, I love those questions.
Those are my questions.
Yeah, those were good ones. Good ones. Fun, fun questions. G, you had anything else you wanted to say?
No, I just really came today for more of an educational point. I mean, I have some other things, but I'm okay.
What you got? From an educational point again, is it gonna churn
It's gonna
the
turn.
temperature?
So I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions. Yeah.
Yeah, but you ladies, I think we all once we I mean you that's on you. We all grown here. But that role play thing is definitely something to it's fun.
I like that. I think I'm gonna explore that idea, Mimi. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would love to do it now, like I said, because I was so young, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. But now, like at this age, I haven't done anything like that, so I would like to definitely do
Your
it.
confidence level is different, right?
So much so, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like then, when you're young, you just like a daredevil. You just like, oh, I'll do anything. But
Exactly.
now I got a womanly confidence about me that I didn't have as a young girl. You know what I mean? So definitely,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this. So
That's why I say you have confidence about you. You love who you
right,
are. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
have that and you, Mimi, you definitely every episode. I mean, we don't talk about it and we don't talk so often, but you have like a sex appeal
really,
about you.
so
Um, and it's just your face. You do. There's a lot of no, there's a lot of women that they're beautiful, but they do not have
right.
sex appeal. You have beauty, and you also have a sex appeal that you
Oh,
see
thank
on your face,
you.
like that smoky, that
Oh,
smoky, like I don't know, sexy look. You have that. You
thank you.
have
I
that sex
love
appeal.
hearing
You
stuff
do.
like that, especially from women. We need to tell each other those kind of things more. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
and I definitely never mind telling
Right?
another woman. Yesterday I went to go get my second COVID
Mm-hmm.
vaccine, and thank God I was not sick. Everyone has been sick, and thank God I didn't get sick last night.
Good, good, good.
But anyway, the lady behind the counter, she had a blouse, and it had hearts all over. And you know how I am with love and hearts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, you have such a beautiful blouse on. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. My husband and my son picked it out. They say that I'm a tomboy,
Oh,
and they wanted me to wear something, a little bit more feminine. So I put it on today.
right,
But I
right.
think that it's okay for us to compliment other women. Sometimes we need that, and not
Yeah,
just
I'm sorry. Yeah, when
no.
when you do that to another
Um,
woman, we just light up. Like and it's not lighting up because you feel it's just like it's nice for it to come from a woman instead of just a man, all the time. Gee, what was that you were drinking? It looks so refreshing.
Sparkling water with a little bit of orange juice and lime.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sidebar, guys.
Water, you said?
Huh?
You said water?
Sparkling.
You said water?
Pellegrino water with a little bit of orange juice and some lime.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed this episode, ladies.
This was cute.
It was a good episode.
Yeah. So to the next time on
Two Puerto Ricans and a Black Girl.
Bye, guys.